Romans chapter 12. Romans chapter 12, starting with verse 1. If you can, could you stand for the reading of God's word, please? Romans chapter 12, starting at verse 1. It reads, "Therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, I urge you to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. For this is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may discern that what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. For by the grace given to me, I tell everyone among you not to think of himself more highly than he should think. Instead, think sensibly, as God has distributed a measure of faith to each one. Now, as we have many parts in one body, and all the parts do not have the same function, in the same way, we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually members of one another. According to the grace given to us, we have different gifts. If prophecy, using according to the standard of one's faith. If service, in service. If teaching, in teaching. If exhorting, in exhortation. Giving with generosity. Leading with diligence. Showing mercy with cheerfulness. As may God add a blessing to the reading, hearing, and doing of his word. Let us pray. Gracious Father, I thank you and I praise you for all your many blessings, and I ask you now that you speak through me, that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be accepted in my sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Amen. You may be seated. I got a lot of things I want to do. I'm going to try to do. We'll see how we're going to execute this, Mrs. Gregg. We're going to see if we can get it done. So, I told you I'm going to be aggressive this year. This year I have been. I'll be more assertive. So, I said Clint, and I think, Ruby, you already said you wanted to join the church, right? Yeah, okay. Darrell, Angelique. Have y'all done new members class? Now, Clint, you've been here for a long time. I'm just checking. Ruby, I know we didn't get it scheduled. Darrell, you want to be, what you thinking? Yes, okay. And this is no laugh. We got to get this thing rolling now. It's time to get it rolling. I'm gonna give y'all the theme for 2019 in advance, because it's not a rhyme either. Come off the sideline in 2019. We're coming off the sideline. And you'll hear more about that as we go. Sister Rourke, I see you. I'm trying to see where I want to put you at as far as you floating, what you need to do. So, Angelique, so you say you're gonna do this. You had enough time now. You ready? This is gonna be your home church. Okay. I'm trying to set up a new members class. I'm trying to get a schedule. So y'all four, will y'all meet with me after church for about a minute? Is that cool? Okay. All right, okay, get that out the way. God is good. All the time. Here in the text, Paul is talking to the Roman church, and he's trying to help them as well as help us. He's trying to help them understand once you come into salvation, that's not good enough. Oh, man, you did a new members class. We're going, since Darrell is doing it, we're going to have you do it as well with him. Is that cool? Sure. Okay. Some of y'all looking at me funny. New members class, I'm realizing, is very important. New members class allows us a chance to, you ought to give me to know, y'all get to know me better and I get to know you all better. But what I like about new members class, I get to see where y'all come from. And that relates to the text, because Paul is trying to help the church in Rome understand that after you become saved, there's still some work that needs to be done. And not only is there some work to be done, how many of y'all know when you get Jews and Gentiles in the same congregation, it's hard to mix them? Okay, let me explain a little bit better. We got some folks in here that have grown up Church of Christ. We have some people growing up here that grew up Lutheran, Church of God in Christ, Baptist. Some people didn't even go to church growing up. And because of that, we all have some different ideologies when it comes to doing church work. Amen? Amen. So back then, Paul had Jews and Gentiles. So the Jews were the chosen people. The Gentiles were the heathens. So now the Jews upset because because the Gentiles get to take part in some salvation. How dare they get to get what we got? Y'all think that happens in the church today? No. Does it? We have people walking around in camps. We have so many different backgrounds, so many different things going on. You don't do it like this. We don't do it like this. So I'm not going to do it because that's not how it happened when I grew up. Well, guess what? We're going to have to figure out how to do this thing together in a way that may not seem applicable to you. I'm out here. Let me just go on and preach this thing like it's got to be. Yeah, I can't do it. Because some people initially told me we need to stop having testimony service. Don't do your lips like that. I'm just telling you what they said. And what I had to help them understand was this. Testimony service to me is one of the most important pieces of our worship because it allows people a chance to tell about the goodness of God. But even more so than that, our church is crazy enough to get up and say what they've done wrong when they're in the midst of the valley of the shadow of death. Amen. Did y'all hear what I said? Amen. That means that there is, and what I try to tell people, when I tell people who come to visit our church, I say, there's no telling what you may hear in our church. Because people are free enough, and can I say that word, free enough to express how they feel. Not everybody, and that's okay. But it's necessary that an environment is produced where people can be free. How many of you all know it's easier to serve when you are free? If you don't believe me, try to serve in some handcuffs. Especially, it's hard enough to serve them, but sometimes we handcuff ourselves. Paul said, I beseech you therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, that you present your body a living sacrifice. Woo! I ain't got to the holy and acceptable yet. I'm stopping at the sacrifice. So you Bible scholars, Old Testament sacrifices, they took a cow, a pig, a pigeon, or whatever, they put it on the altar. And they burned it. Amen? Am I talking correct? Yeah. Well, y'all looking at me funny. As a sacrifice, they laid it there. Guess what Paul is telling the Roman church, the Roman churches to do? Present your body as a living sacrifice. That means we are required to get up on the sacrifice block and lay down. Yes. Woo-wee. Woo-woo. Yeah, it's rough. Uh-oh. You're supposed to take your money, lay it down as an offering or as a sacrifice so God can do whatever he wants to do with it. Y'all may have been wondering why Antonia talked about doing something years ago. She's been in school 2 years, in college 2 years. This is her second year. So she got people back home that she did stuff with that God told her to do, and there was no results. Y'all know how she is. She's a little quirky. She's a little awkward. She's a little aggressive when it comes to talking about God and your salvation. She is. I'm not telling y'all something I didn't tell her. Me and her had new members class together. Can you imagine how many questions she had before we had new members class? She had twice as many. She told me she did not believe in speaking in tongues without any interpretation, so I had to explain that to her. She told me that I didn't preach enough scriptural referencing to the church for her liking because her preacher preached it a different way and she would like me to do that. I'm telling you what she would tell me. And of course I had a rebuttal for her. I said, you had a church with a lot of black folk. The white preachers do stuff different. I'm serious. We preach a different kind of way because there are different settings that's going on. If you're used to being at a church, help me and understand, where you don't have to worry about somebody being homeless. You ain't got to, y'all are worried about who you're going to give the goods to. Who we going to give the turkeys to? Who we going to give the basket to? Who we going to give the toys to? Who we going to give the clothes to? There's a different kind of message than when you got people sitting in your country, and I'm not saying this is y'all, but this is our neighborhoods. We got to get, where are we going to get the stuff from? It's a different kind of sermon that has to come. Does that make her preacher wrong? Absolutely not. Does that make me wrong? Absolutely not. It's what Paul is talking about. We have to be renewed in our mind, and we have to understand that God has a way of reaching everybody he needs to reach in his own way. But she said, oh, gee, I trust your heart, and I'll stay here because I think this is where I need to be. I said, I'm glad, because I think this is where you need to be. Because you need to be stretched. That's what she said. I said, I know you need to be stretched. We're going to calm you down a little bit. Y'all looking at me funny again. I'm going to get back to laying your wallet and laying your body, laying your whole soul back on the altar as a sacrifice. It's necessary. And in sacrificing, sometimes you got to take an L and doing it the way you want to do it. Can I give y'all an example? This wasn't even in the notes, but I got to wait. I want to see how we'll get this in. I've been preaching about stewardship because I want to be at 1229. I want that building. I go past that building every single day. Name it and claim it. That's mine. That's mine. But let me tell you the flip side of this. All my constituents, all my friends say, dude, you invested in a black hole. Why are you trying to get that raggedy building? It needs too much work. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. Leave it alone. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, whose report should I believe? I'm in a quandary. I don't want to make a decision, and guess what? We're not desperate, and we're not going to be rushing into anything. But we do need to move and get our own place, okay? Yes. Dwayne and I were talking about nobody saying they want to be a sound person. He said, well, when we get our own building, we'll have it set up. We don't have to worry about that. I said, we just flip switches. But we still need somebody to be a sound person. But all these people telling me what I shouldn't do. And I'm trying to cover my ears. And I said, y'all all have a right to your opinion. Because I believe if I let God renew my mind and God continue to talk to us, he will lead us in the right direction because we're going to be obedient. Amen. Hold up, though. Hold up. So I was talking to the ministerial staff this week, and they say, gee, you're doing good, but you need to slow down. Is that what y'all said? They said, what you need to slow down is February is too quick. You're trying to get $150,000. We need to push it back. Now, how many of y'all know that we need to be consistent? Yes. We need to be, and we need to do what we do, but we also got to be wise. You also got to listen to everybody because one set of eyes. Y'all, I'm still preaching the text. Y'all don't believe me? You got to get your mind renewed. You got to be able to listen. You got to have people around you who have vision. I know I am the chief visionary. I know that. There's no doubt in that. But guess what? This is everybody's church as well. Amen. I got to make it plain because this is serious because you're talking about y'all laying y'all wallets on the altar. You're talking about raising some money. You're talking about pledging. People get silly over their money. I don't care how much Holy Ghost y'all have. Sometimes we get funny. Especially when we make a sacrifice. I believe in being totally honest so we can get what we need to get. God's going to bless us because when we are being faithful over a few things, he'll make us ruler over many. And what I'm liking about this stewardship sermon, the 8:30 attendance is getting better and better. God, what's going on? Something's happening in you all's hearts. Because it's cold outside. But y'all still here. We still doing it. And I'm proud of that. And I have to say that because sometimes we don't get affirmed enough. So let me affirm the church. Clint texted me to get to church, and I didn't get it early enough. And y'all may not know Clint's history, you will. He's been with the church for a long time. He's been on the periphery. It's time to come out of the periphery. But he said, I went to 8 churches trying to find Proverbs last Sunday. He came in at the end. And I'm not trying to bust him out, but you know what that tells me? Somebody's hungry. Somebody needs to hear a word from the Lord. Not only that, there was something here that gave him some strength. Yeah, I just sat down with him and Bianca, and we got a great, I used to go out to White Bear Lake and do a Tuesday night Bible study, all of that. That's why you got to do what God tells you to do. I was driving way out to White Bear Lake to do a Bible study in an apartment building that was Maplewood folk, White Bear folk. But guess what? If the fruit of that was Clint coming right now and Clint fulfilling his God-given destiny, it was all worth it. Yeah, I was tired. That's okay. Because sometimes we have to present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. But this is your reasonable service. Reasonable. In the Greek, it's spelled O-I-G-I-K-E. It means it's your logical choice. The logical thing, L-O-G-I-K-E, that's the Greek word. Coming from logos, word. But that's logical. Paul is saying your logical thing to do is to present your body a living sacrifice, and that's your reasonable service. That's your reasonable service. That means the logical thing to do is to present your body a living sacrifice. Woo, I hear some of y'all in the spirit doing like the ooh. But you better do it. It's the best way to go. Because we have work to do. What I want to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I said I need to have people make some verbalizations. There's something important about proclamation. And Sister Orr set it off, right? Tammy gave her a word yesterday. And so she made a declaration that in her retirement, she's going to make more money in her retirement than she did regular, right? Now, we could assume that has something to do with music, but we don't know. But she made a decree, and that's something we can pray for. Now, this is what I want to do. Everybody in here, I want you to tell the church. You ain't got to stand up, because I'm just going to point to you. Tell me what gift right now you think God is telling you to bring to the church. I'll give you about 30 seconds to think about it. Should I go to be deep? If I was deep, I would say, if we was a praying church, I could just go right around. Y'all should already have your answers in your head because y'all always on your knees and you're always blessed and highly favored. You're always in contact with God. But I'm not going to say that. Because sometimes what's obvious to us, to ourselves, may not be what God wants us to do. So sometimes we need to take a second. Think about it. So Pastor Sullivan, I'm starting with you. Yes, ma'am. Empowering people to walk in their purpose. Got it, Pastor Orr?
Yeah, more of a listener.
Be a listener. Again.
Tell my story.
Tell your story. Unshawn?
I think I'm just supposed to be.
Okay. Now listen. I'm glad you said that. Because sometimes people always think it's to do. Now, I hope that's what God is saying. Because if God tells you to sit, He can have you sit in a way that's ministering to everybody around you. But if you just want to sit because you don't want to get into the game, that's not what I'm talking about. So you're just supposed to be your presence. All right, Uncle Charles.
Be more obedient.
What does that mean?
Just be more obedient to the Holy Spirit. As the Lord gives me something to do, just do it without, you know.
So I'm gonna push you. You gotta be specific. That's general. Y'all, that's a general answer. Because we all should be that. Be specific. Like what? You need to pray, do you need to preach, do you need to what?
Just give more of me. Just give more of myself to it.
So give more of yourself to others. That's a little better. Okay, Kathy?
They just to continue to serve, to help out with like toys for tots and the different events.
Okay. Now listen, this is not an indictment. This is not for you to find something wrong. If you're doing it good, say I'm doing it good. Y'all, our church wouldn't be the way it is. Somebody got to be doing something right. It's not all about me. It's about us collectively. We make this thing happen. So if you're doing good, thank you. Ms. Kipper. I'm not letting Ms. Kipper slide today. Ms. Kipper, you better say something. I always let you slide. What? What? Not today. Not today. You need to pray more, attend, you go to everything. What is it? What? Is that what you do? Continue to hold people accountable? You do that very well.
Amen, amen, amen.
I'm still not going with that. So,
Welcome back.
so I'm struggling with being obedient to your elders and being obedient. Because last week, let me say this. See, the praise and worship cut their songs down, so I don't have to rush. That's why they sing 2 songs now. And I'm glad, because I didn't think I could fill the time up, but I realized that I can't. So last week I asked Ms. Kipper that she wanted to have a time to tell us about her trip to Africa. And she said, no. And Makeda was like, so what Makeda was saying was, you always let Ms. Kipper do what she wanted to do. She already, that ain't what she said. Spiritually, you know, Ms. Kipper slick, y'all, come on now. She can easy, you pass because she do so much, you just don't want to give her nothing. No, not today. We got to come out the sideline. We got to make a declaration so we can know what's going on. So, Ms. Kipper, in the meantime, while you thinking, you keep thinking, but you continue to hold people accountable. You hold people accountable in a loving way, but it's still forceful, and you get on people's nerves in a good way. Did you ever get on somebody's nerves, tell them, ask you what you're going to do? Dang, okay. For real. Miss Gregg, okay, we got it. Mrs. Gregg, no, don't you do that. I thought you were supposed to say nothing. No. Yes, ma'am.
You're asking me, what am I gonna lay before the Lord?
Yeah, what you gonna do? What gift you gonna give us? Yes.
I need to lay before the Lord my doubts and fears.
Okay. That's what you bring to the table? That's a whole nother sermon. I'm
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I know I'm getting myself into. Mr. Gregg?
I'm going to declare more of the fullness of Christ.
So you're going to declare more. I'm going to push you a little bit. So what does that mean? You always are speaking. So you're changing your words?
No, it's going to keep
Which stronger?
doing it more and more.
Okay.
Doing it more and more. As I see more and more blessing from doing it, I'm going to
Okay.
do it more.
All right. I hear you. Darrell?
Just to be here and be more open, spiritual.
Okay. Good. Amanda?
I am going to work on myself, and a better me is the better person I can be in the gifts that I have.
Okay, now y'all might say that's a slick answer. It's not. Cause what? And don't all of y'all say that, cause all of y'all don't need to do that. Don't think she's not committed, cause she's already the head of the outreach, so she's already doing that. But help you listen, working on making herself better will make her be a better servant of her gifts, make her a better steward of her gifts. Good. Sophia.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Bible study,
Bible study.
and I think helping Sorority in some kind of way.
Okay, got you. Okay, there we go. Amen. 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 Chantel. Huh? Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. What you gonna do? What God put on you to do? Now I can fill in the blank, but I ain't you, so I can't. What you need? You don't think you have anything to give? So you remember, just so bring back to your remembrance, you helped write the newsletter, right? How was that for you? I'm not saying do that again, but how was that for you? Do you consider that something you're giving it to God? Let me also say this, y'all. Sometimes asking this question makes us just think about four walls. I want you to think bigger than four walls. I want you to think global. Okay? I am going to let Chantel think I'm coming back to her. Okay?
I'm going to work on me so I can be a better me, like Amanda. I think that's perfect. And I'm going to connect with people the way I want to without them.
Okay, good. Ms. Nova?
I want to continue to empower others to develop.
Okay. Brother Billy? Okay. So talk about it.
Serve.
Okay.
I need to serve.
Okay.
In the church. I need to be consistent.
Okay.
As far as time management.
Okay.
On both paths.
Okay.
Not just my wife, but on both paths.
Yes, yeah.
Consistency. With Bible study also. I mean, we go to Bible study, but just for consistency and just really just time management, and not for no excuse. Okay. Because we must, some people know my schedule.
Yes.
Okay, not 6 days a week.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I still don't feel the fulfillment,
Okay.
you know, as far as internally, you know, so I can do this in the physical, but that spiritual connection is not there where it should be if I would be serving more.
Okay.
Being held accountable for something for these 4 walls.
Good. Thank you. Excellent. Hold up, Captain. Ms. Roger? So what does that mean?
I will continue to work in the background, serving and supporting everyone in their ministries.
Okay. All right. Mother E?
Server.
Servant. What does that mean? Wait, just wait. Y'all holding the hand. Hold up. I'll hold on to it. What does that
What
mean?
does server mean?
Yeah, what does it mean by that?
Helping the pastor, serving the pastor, serving my church family,
Okay.
whatever I can assist them with.
Okay. All right. Mother Netta. Go ahead.
Working in the community.
Okay.
Serving in the church. And need to be using my time more wisely.
Okay. Agnes?
Working more on the outside than the inside of the church.
Gotcha. Ruby? No. No, man, come on. Y'all, sometimes brother, sister, look when you say dude, leave it alone. Okay, I'm not crazy, y'all know. Hey, Camille. Okay.
Again, I'm here with the young women.
Okay, all right. Tina?
I guess just random hopes.
You say random pokes, P-O-K-E-S? Okay,
Good words.
okay,
Whoever comes to my mind.
okay, okay. Clint?
There's some young men I need to reach out to and talk to.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sister Roy?
You know my ministry. I just gotta seek God and get back.
Can you verbalize the ministry so everybody knows? Women. Okay. Okay. Right.
No doubt in my mind, I haven't did it yet, but to share my story and the extreme mercy he had over my life.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir.
Mentorship, so did I.
Sonia Dawes, mentorship. Thunder?
I've been having a desire to get out into the community, kind of more so with homeless people.
Okay.
And having like a personal interaction.
Okay.
And there's been circumstances or people that I've encountered about nutrition and
Okay.
kind of spreading and sharing that gift.
Okay, good. All right. Brother Fritz?
Short, I just ended a relationship up here in Minneapolis. I'm going to go to Milwaukee and start a business.
Okay, that's what you're doing. Okay. And Jeff? Vulnerable.
Right.
Wow. Uncle Dwayne?
I thought since I was sitting
No.
Well, you know, I've been thinking a lot about the audio and video, and I've been going on YouTube trying to figure out different ways to do different things different and just work on that. And once we get this new church, like we were talking this morning, I'll be able to enforce some of those things and also get back into reading my Bible more.
Okay, good. Now you might say, wow, why would Pastor G take a very, very important Sunday morning in December when he should be talking about Advent and the coming of Christ and Jesus' birth? Now, why would he take a Sunday to let everybody share what they got? Well, one of the reasons why is because Christmas season is a season of giving. And what better gift that you bring to the table than yourself? And so I know Chantel said she didn't have anything. And I know Ruby said she didn't have, they have stuff. But I have to be wise enough sometimes. You gotta let some of this stuff sit. Kathy, you had your hand up. What did you want to say?
I want to get my finances under control so that so I can help more. Like I know sometimes people read something and I give them money.
Okay.
So get my finances
Get
so I
your,
can help.
got you. Okay, you had your hand up. What you want to say? Don't go say it now. Come on.
Well, I was gonna say, but is that what God told Sorority, or is that what Sorority said?
Okay, well. Okay, so you can answer that, Sorority. She said, is that what God told you, or that was just you just doing that? You just saying that because you do it well? That's okay. So, so there's nothing additional. Okay. Now listen. I let that go as a teachable moment. You all, let's not critique what somebody else is feeling what God is telling them to do. Did y'all hear what I said? That needs to be very, very clear. Because just because God is showing you something about somebody else, He may not show them. God may not be showing them that. Because I got some answers that I probably could have changed for some of y'all, but it wasn't God though. It was Gillespie. And so I got to let Gillespie get out of the way and let God be the orchestrator. Because as you start listening to these answers, we got community stuff, we got health stuff, we got food stuff, we got people working on themselves, we got young men, we got young women, we got all these things that God is trying to do through our church. Because that lets me know our ministry is going to have a huge impact. And because we can't have a huge impact if we don't understand what Paul is saying. He's saying we got to present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, that we may know what His perfect will is. And we have to have our minds transformed. Transformation is about relationship. Transformation is about relationship. The closer we get to God is the more He transforms us. We talked about it in discipleship class about how immature saints need to be with mature saints so we can help pull them along. Is that true? Everybody in this body is not at the same place spiritually. And us who are mature should be helping those who are weaker in love. Because it was sandwiched in between the 12th chapter of Romans. At the end of the 11th chapter, God, it's like they're singing a song to who God is. Where were we at when He created the earth? He knows everything. He does all these things. We're talking about the attributes of God. And then after that, you got, well, right after the gift part, after I read verse 8, it's about talking about love and how we're supposed to love one another. Everything we do should be wrapped up in love. Amen? Amen. So when Clint knows I love him, I can come at him. Amen. I love Ruby, and Ruby gave me a look that said, dude, leave me alone. She don't really mean that, but she really means that right now. Miss Kipper, we can't let her slide, y'all. We can't let anybody slide. What does that mean? That means you got to hold each other accountable. Hold each other accountable to the gifts that God has given them. I'm not going to let Sophie throw out there, she's going to help Saroni. I'm not going to let that just fester in the air. No, that's not. Figure it out and get busy. So how you do that? You go talk to Saroni after church and see what she needs you to do. That's right. And Saroni, you got to say, okay, I'm getting ready to accept this help because God has sent her my way. Because I've been praying for help. For somebody that I can work with. Mr. Greg, I'm going to hold you. You better declare, declare, and declare. Greg, Mr. Greg been here long enough. I can get at him a little bit. Can I get at him for 1 second? No. Well, shut it down here. Mr. Greg, what I need you to do, when you came back from the Sankofa trip and you talked to us, there was a lot of weeping eyes when you were talking. Because you came from a place that I've never seen you come from before, ever. Now, I've been around you for 11 years. Now, what I need you to do, I'm talking pastoral to you now. I need you to take that same passion and that same fervor that you have when you stood up here and take that to tomorrow morning. Do you hear what I'm saying? I don't think you hear what I'm saying. There's a different kind of, God is pushing you to declare some things. You need to declare some things over your staff at Hope Academy. I'm not talking to you as your dean of students of the Lord's School. I'm talking to you as your pastor. Reevaluate your presentation so you can get the impact that God is intending. Not that you're not doing well. God wants to bust Hope wide open from a spiritual perspective. I know I'm talking right. When I'm in this vein, I don't need any amen. I know I'm in the house. Because God is working on us. He's working on all of us. And we got to be open. Our mind has to be renewed, and sometimes we got some hard heads. We got so much education and so much reading and so much TV. There's no room for God to get some of that stuff out of there so he can change our minds. We're stuck in our ways. We gotta break that. We gotta lay ourselves on the altar. Our money, ourselves, our time. I hear people saying I gotta get my time together. Spending time with God is such a blessing. Amen. Practice it. Amen. No, you may not do it like other people. Do it your way. It's amazing to me how sometimes we try to emulate somebody else. Somebody can get up. I remember when I was being ordained, Dad Williams, if you know Dad Williams, he's gone on to be with the Lord now. He was like, y'all knees need to be messed up because you've been on your knees so much. I'm on my knees 8 hours a day. Now at that particular time, he was 80 years old, telling us, I was a young man in my 30s. He told me I need to be on my knees 8 hours a day. That was an unrealistic expectation. Not that it was not something that I could aspire to. I can't do that. I don't do that now. I'm not requiring you to do that, but if God is requiring you to do that, you better get to it, buddy. Did y'all know he has different ways of dealing with all of us? Yes. I'll never forget McKay to be like, Darrell, I'll never see you study. That's what you know you should say that. I'll never see you study. How you preach like that? I'll never see you study. Obviously I do study, amen. Amen. But she didn't see it. But she knew I did, because she told me what a wonderful preacher I am. She give me my props. I'm not trying to take my pride, I'm just saying that's But I'm saying sometimes we don't see people doing certain things, so we think they're not capable of doing certain things. Stop that. We don't know what God does in our private time. And in our private time, God can accelerate our learning. Some of us have the gift of speaking and preaching and talking. And I say, God, open them all up. Open up every one. Don't let y'all get any rest until you are fulfilling God's purpose in your life. I pray that prayer anyway. So when some of y'all start getting woke up and start getting jacked up and say, that's Jesus' fault. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm done. We got to pray. Come on, pastors. Mr. Greg, I want you to come help us pray. And this, I want you to come help us pray.